Okay, now let's try to understand this, how the logical operators works in C sharp. So here logical operators can be of the type and, or, and not. Here logical and that are used in digital circuits, digital gates. The same logic is applied over here. If both the signals are true, then output is true. If any one of the signals are false, then output is false. And that means it can be either two cases, 0, 1 or 1, 0. If both our inputs are false, then output is false. The here 1 is assumed to be true condition and 0 is assumed to be false condition. And hence, in either side of the AND operand, we can put symbols. Yeah, it's actually it's a comparison operator happening on either side of the AND symbol. If the first half of the AND symbol happens to be true, then second half also is checked with the AND symbols. So for example, it can be of the sort A AND B. So in this way, if A is a comparison logic that is happening to be true, and B is a comparison logic that's happening to be true, that is A and B both are true, means in this case it is 1. So the output is going to be true. That is signal is 1. In case if any one half of them fails, that means first half is 0. 0 is ANDed with 1. So in this case, the output is going to be 0. So in this, so in the third case, it should be first is ANDed, 1 is ANDed with 0. So in this case also the output is going to be 0. So there can be another situation where both the Boolean conditions that is being checked on either side of the AND operation and operator. And then output is going to be a false one. So we will understand this concept in more better way once we are dealing with the C sharp examples with the inclusion of certain values. So these are situation. One handed with 1 is 1, 0 handed with 1 is 2. So 0 is actually a false output. So in the second case also it is a, third case also it is a false output. Then third one is definitely going to be a false one. And if it is not, means it is going to give a 1 value in this not condition. So these are situations in which possible situation that can be encountered in logical or in this logical AND. In the logical OR, what happens is that except the first and the last, in between everything, both are true, both are happening to be true. That means first one is also true and second one is also true. If one odd with 1, then answer is 1. If one is odd with 0, then answer is 0. One odd with here, sorry, one odd with 1, answer is 1. If 0 odd with 1 is also answer is 1. And for 0, definitely the output is going to be 0 only. So these is the difference between how and OR operator works. 1 and 1 is 1, 0 and 1 is 0, 1 and 0 is 0, 0, 0 is 0. So both half should be compulsorily be 1 in case of ANDed. That means both the comparison operator and either side of the ANDed symbol should be true. In logical OR, first is definitely going to work, but second one, if any one half is true, then output is true. If both are false, means false. Now in case of in this case, we can take the situation of not operator of 23 greater than 12. 123. So here definitely 20, this is going to give a true value because first of all inside condition it is false and false of not means we want a true. So answer will come back as true. So the same is being checked for the other one. Now let us consider the situation with help of a simple C sharp code and let us analyze and see how the situation works. We'll go back to page where exactly the Visual Studio Code is available. So here we have condition that taken, we have taken the condition of E to be 78 and A is 25 and B is 45. And the return of the expression of A is greater than B is taken up by P value, and that is a Boolean condition. And the return of A is greater than B is taken up by the Q value, that's also a Boolean condition. That is, it is returned, it is declared to be PQ. Now, with respect to P and Q, we are doing the AND operation. So by the logical, we can by the logic that has been applied, we can see the first half is actually going to fail because 25 is not greater than 45. And second half is definitely going to work because 78 is greater than 45. So P ANDed P ANDed with Q will give a false answer because the first half is false and second half is true. So that is depicted over here. It's part of the statement. Because A is greater than B is going to give you a false value, and A is greater than E is greater than B is going to give you a true value, and false ANDed with true will give a false. So hence C is going to give a false value. Now the same equation is been ANDed, is been done with a equated with the OR condition. OR means any one half is true, then it's going to give a true value. So this is going to be false, this is going to be true, but they're OR together. That means any half is agrees, then its output is going to agree. So if false odd with true is going to give a true. So this half is going to give a true value. Similarly, we have altered the conditioning over here. Now we are giving a P value to be B is greater than A. We are giving a correct condition for the P, and Q value we are going to alter it. A is greater than E we are giving, but that's definitely not true because E is greater than A. So in this condition, what happens is that here we have to specifically the Q value is taking A is greater than E, which is a false value. So B is greater than A is true, but A is greater than E is false. So true ANDed with false with it's also going to give a false value. So this part will give a false value. Now we are doing the same equation with the or equating with OR. So here we are knowing that this half is true, but this half is going to be a false one. But OR just checks for any half to be true in order to give the output to be true. So is being true. So A greater than B being true and A is greater than E being false. True or with false is also going to give a true value. So this half is going to give a true value. So let us debug this whole thing and just check off whether exactly the situation works out to be like that or not. So we go for the share, we give a build option. We are waiting for the build option to get completed. Now we can see in the left bottom corner of the page the build is succeed. So we go for the start button and go for the debug session of the page, where exactly we can get the output. So when A is 25 and B is 45, and E is 78, that means A is greater than B is definitely false because 25 is not greater than 45. And E is greater than B is true because 78 is greater than 45. Hence, the ending of false with a true is going to give a false. So this is accordingly giving correctly. Now here another situation is we are taking the same thing with the odd situation. A and B is false because B is a greater number, and E is greater than B is true because E is greater than B. And the ending of ORing of and false with them true value is going to give a true value. Hence P and Q are is going to give is giving a true value. Now we are taking up the same equation once again. A is 25, B is 45, and E is 78. And when B is greater than A is true, definitely because 45 is greater than 25. So P is true. So but Q is not true because E is a higher quantity than A. So Q is false. So ending of a true with a false is going to give a false value. So this half is going to give a false value because true added with false is false. Now here again we know that P is true and Q is false, and it true odd with a false is also a true value because all looks just enough to be true. So this is how AND and OR logic is working.